Screen time salutations to all you internet dwellers out there, and welcome to another episode of Screen Time Continuum. I am Nick, and I am joined, as always, by Keelan. What's going on, man?
Not much at all. I am doing fantastically well over here, and I can't really add much more to that. Happy Hump Day. Happy Odin's Day.
Happy Odin's Day indeed. We are covering Loki, so that is appropriate. And we got the mustard here. Dijon, how's it going, bro?
Happy Hump Day. I'm still hungry, so
yeah, he might be snacking a little bit. He just got home. He's got a busy day, so you might be having a little bit of food on the side, but that's all right.
Hope it's not too distracting for you guys.
I'm sure it'll be all right. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for listening. We very much appreciate you. Please consider giving us a thumbs up and a subscription to our YouTube page, Screen Time Continuum at YouTube. And please, if you guys have any comments you want us to read during the stream, we will do so, and definitely towards the end of the episode. But if we get one during the appropriate times, we'll address that as well. Today we are going to cover the 4th episode of Loki. This is your spoiler warning, everybody. If you have not seen the 4th episode of Loki on Disney Plus, please turn back now. We are going to be talking about it in full with no holds barred. We're going to be spoiling this episode of Loki. And this is one that you probably don't want spoiled. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back to us. We'll be here. If you don't mind being spoiled, or if you've seen it already, please stay with us and enjoy this conversation. All right, gents. Well, episode 4 of Loki. We had a really rough episode last episode with number 3. Let's just hit Keelan first. Impressions. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna open with this. My first impression of Loki episode 4, episode named the Nexus event. It really was a Nexus event because I have changed my mind and I actually want to see the next episode. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, that's a fair first impression. We're definitely going to jump into the details in a minute, but let's get Dijon's first impression as well.
I thought it was way better in episode 3. For sure. This just proves my point. WandaVision to Winter Soldier and Falcon. Episode 3s are just kind of the dull bridge to connect to, what's going to happen next. And regardless to it, I just sincerely thought episode 3 could have probably been fused with this episode.
Yeah.
But a lot of shit could have been cut out. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was way better paced beyond certain things, controversies that it brings up.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely would agree with you guys. This episode is better. It is. Well, we'll get into some more. We'll get into some other critiques. It's not great, but it's definitely better. And I think I said this to you guys right before we started. This could either be an excellent episode or one that kind of dismantles the whole series. And we can only really figure that out within the next 2 episodes. There's still a lot for us to find out. They left everything way too open-ended, so I can't tell you whether I dislike or like the trajectory yet because we don't know where it's going to land. But let's just get into the nitty-gritty, guys. Is Keelan or how about we go with Dijon? Is there something that you wanted to bring?
Okay, so it was interesting. I mean, it's just right there thinking about what had happened last week when we spoke about the possibility, like this dude is digging himself, like opening it up, like, oh, they're actually going with this. Like they're gonna try to pull this romance thing going off somewhat. Excuse me, I got a little one in the background.
Oh, that's okay.
He's a caged beast trying to get out. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting that they're actually doing this whole me digging myself thing, and they ran with it throughout the rest of the episode. There was some certain things I didn't notice until like we talked before getting this podcast started. So I was like, you know what? I didn't even notice that. I was like,
Mm.
okay. I thought it was decent paced, some hella of what the fuck moments, and I was just like, I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset that they did what they did to Owen Wilson, Morbius, his character, and I'm just like, okay. That I literally felt that like, damn, dude, these two are sincerely bonding beyond the fucking witty banter to keep trading back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, this is nice. I'm like, wow, and it's great because I'm like, hey, we actually get to see some development with a different character versus what we normally see with Loki and Thor. So it's good to know. Then that ending surprised me where he got tapped or stabbed and sent into like how would you call it? Purgatory of fucking time or existence.
I mean, like, if that, do you think that that's where they're going? I mean, we have so far, I guess it could be a speculation and fan theory, but I think we know by now that fan theories do not go well with these types of shows. Do you guys think that when somebody's being pruned, they're not being killed?
You know, to tell you the truth, that just gives me an idea of something called Battle World.
Mm-hmm.
Something they did kind of like in Secret World, where it's like, Secret Wars, where maybe this is a spot where they're like, here's some place out of existence where these variants can go and they duke it out, and no one has to ever know whatever happens to them, and that's it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go for it, man. Yeah.
So I thought the same as far as that moment, Dejan. Like, what is that really? But I'll get to that in a moment. So for me, the most interesting things that popped out start at the beginning, like just the whole recap of how this entire event. Because when we have to break it down, it's almost like, okay, everyone's life, it's its own Nexus event, or has its own Nexus event, has its own experience, so to speak, which is kind of how we already understand individuality, right? But there's an event that occurs that causes them to have to pick a child from a timeline and go and try to prune that child for whatever reason. And it makes you curious, or made me curious, to wonder what was the purpose of that. I think we saw in essence what the purpose of that was through what we're going to talk through this episode and how it went, how it ended. I thought it was interesting to see a child get away from someone who at that time was a soldier or a hunter and is now running the entire organization. What does that say about the organization? Because you never rectified your very first mistake. How could you be the head person in charge?
You know, just thinking about it, we were speaking about Star Wars before this podcast. That shit just remind me of what they did with the stormtroopers. That's what the TVA is.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you know, that I don't know if we're going to get the answer, but we do kind of get an answer as to why Sylvie was taken by the TVA, and the answer from Renslayer is I don't remember.
Well, the answer from Renslayer is I don't remember, but the answer from the storyline when I really picked it out was she is able to reverse whatever it is that whomever is doing to the variants to turn them into agents, to wipe their memories. She is capable of reversing that somehow, which makes me think that the TVA was started by another variant or another Loki somewhere. And I think that's going to be the biggest twist that we run into, is this entire time, this whole thing's been played by who really is, or what really would be considered a superior Loki, because he is controlling all of this. And this is an entire illusion, not an illusion, but an entire illusion.
I think that's being hopeful.
I think that's being super hopeful.
Yeah.
I think that's being super hopeful. I agree with you. I just think if we were to make this make sense, now that we're at the juncture we're at, that would definitely make a lot more connections for me. Now, something else I thought was interesting, and how would they not know? Like, okay, so you have hunters and you send the hunters out into the world, right? How would you not debrief them? How would they not know that at some point Hunter B-15 was enchanted? You know everything. You know all the timelines and everything, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So that was something that jumped out to me. I think we get a little bit more on that. Again, like I said, my biggest question, a lot of the other stuff is really tedious as far as the time cell, Mobius's real motives at this point. What does he believe? Because I'm now under the impression that he's seen the truth. Not only was he going to be on the appropriate side, I think that he was going to really shake some things up. So I'm curious to see where they go with that.
Okay, but so here's my question, you guys, because it feels like you guys know something that I don't. Has there been any indication that pruning somebody doesn't mean that they're dead?
Well,
yes.
When?
Well, to tell you the truth,
Huh?
Post-credit scene.
What?
you did not
I
see
knew
the
it.
post-credits
I knew
scene.
it.
Oh my god!
I knew it.
Damn.
I said it. Okay, wait. I said in 2 different occasions in this episode, I said Nick is going to fucking hate this episode.
Dude, that's it. I'm done. I'm
And
done.
I'm gonna tell you what those 2 moments were right now. I'm gonna tell you.
Sure.
The
Please
first
tell me.
one.
Unless you want to watch it real quick.
No, it's good.
Right.
It's fine. No, because this is the bullshit I'm talking about, man. Put it in the fucking show. I watch the post-credit scenes all the fucking time, and the one time that I don't do it is the time they actually put something that's of any consequence.
And I tell you, I catch it
that?
every single time. I don't turn my TV off. I simply stand up and I walk out the room and I'll hear the credits still rolling. I'm like, it hasn't gotten to that really slow music yet. And I poke my head back in the room. Here comes the post-credit scene. So
I'm sorry, you guys. It's Marvel.
It's Marvel, yeah, pretty much.
No, I refuse. I'm not playing their stupid game, man.
Wait, so the 2 times I knew you were going to be mad. So
yeah.
One, look, when they were back on Lamentus 1, so after the whole moment where we find out Renslayer tried to prune her as a child, her Mobius have their little spittle spattle, and she claims that enchantment causes insanity, which doesn't make sense. When they're on Lamentus 1, they are starting to have that little love connection. And I said immediately, that was what, the second or third scene? I was like, oh, Nick's going to drop an F-bomb tonight.
Yeah.
And then the post-credit scene.
Well, okay, so yeah, you know what's so funny about that is like that little love scene, it just felt corny to me.
Super.
And it's like, it's just so forced. Like they don't, it's all of this. You know what was funny is like this episode was like all of the things that we complained about the last episode. They were like, they heard us and they're like, oh, make sure we get all of that in there. I know that they already made the show before we, this, but it did feel like that because I'm like, oh wow, they checked that box, they checked that box, they gave Sylvie a background within 30 seconds because she just decided to talk, and so I was like, okay, now they're gonna have their little love connection thing, and like that.
It makes sense to a storyline if they weren't the same person.
Right. Yeah.
They do this. They do this on purpose.
Yeah.
They've done it with WandaVision. They did it with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Something about episode 3 sets it up. That I've noticed too. It's always episode 4 in the last episode, but after seeing after credit thing.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's not just the Marvel series either. They did the same shit in Mandalorian.
It's a Disney thing.
See, I would have missed all of those too because I don't play those damn games. I don't play those games. Put it in the movie.
Think about who's in the Mandalorian. The showrunners for the Mandalorian, John Favreau.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
Okay, so can somebody elucidate as to what the freaking post-credit scene was?
Look, everybody that looked down at Loki after he was pruned and he looked up to the heavens, they weren't angels. They all looked like me right now.
Wait, okay, so hold on, go back. So Loki gets pruned and then he's in some other place.
Yes, full of other
Lokis. Okay, all of the prunes Lokis, I guess. Right?
Loki purgatory.
Right. It was a kid Loki, a wizard looking Loki, a black Loki. I want to call him Yogi so bad.
He had Thor's hammer too.
He did have Thor's hammer. I've noticed that. He whoa, there's a Loki with Mjolnir. Then there's a Loki with a goat. I was like, wait, never mind.
That's fine. Okay, well, so then there is indication that you're not exactly being destroyed when you get pruned. Mm-hmm. Which, if that's the case, then that was just a cheap ploy to get people to gas so that they could rewrite the entire thing within 10 minutes. So I don't respect that either, actually, to be honest. It's like you if you're gonna kill somebody, then kill them and stand by it, which I know it's Marvel and they never do, but
I'm just glad I'm not the only one who feels that way.
yeah, I mean, because then it's like, well, then I just got upset about Owen Wilson dying for no reason and Loki dying for no reason. And you just made me upset because that was like the moment for you to be like, haha, got you.
That's right.
He's not really dead.
You know what it felt like to me? It felt like that moment where you're sitting at your friend's house and you guys start talking about McDonald's McFlurries and you think like, ooh, Oreo and M&M McFlurry, I can get half and half. Good job, sir. And then they go,
tell you the ice cream machine.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Or my personal favorite, no, the ice cream machine works. I can get you a cone, but the McFlurry machine is broke.
Yeah.
If you don't sprinkle my candy in there.
Get this shit away from me, man.
Well, Mara says that Loki emphasizes that they do not die. Okay.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that part. I'm not
sure either, but I mean, like, yeah, it does seem to be true. Apparently, in the cinematic universe, Loki just doesn't die. So,
but it does make sense, actually. I think I can understand where we may have missed that, or where I may have missed that line. I think that would be how you become an agent after you get pruned or after you get plucked from a timeline. How else would you become an agent? So maybe it's not. So it is purgatory. It's a test of some sort.
Oh yeah, or like a rebooting system that kind of just wipes your memory or something.
I sincerely think it might have something to do with whatever his name is, Kang. I think it's
Kang the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror, because him and Renslayer is supposed to have in a comic series. They're supposed to be tight.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they drop a name and he's like
working together.
They're working together, and I think he's like, because what was this the real reason why he would go pluck out that Loki from that timeline, unless she would be a threat
because of her abilities.
Yeah, and this dude he's dealing with certain timelines to see this or that person can be a threat to me, or this can be basically a good person to be a bot. But we will see. I mean, I'm hoping for that, but we will see. Yeah. And I'm like, this whole bullshit of the sacred timeline, I'm like, dude, it can't be no sacred timeline if you got variants.
There's way too much going on right
There's
now.
No such thing as a sacred timeline.
Yeah.
I want to also add that is one of my other theories, that if it is not a Loki, it is someone controlling Renslayer as well. I was on that side. So, yeah. Now, who controlling Renslayer? I don't know. Maybe Renslayer is some kind of a Nexus god trapped inside her. Who knows?
Do you think that was a good move to Snoke the timekeepers like that? Like, to say that there's actually somebody else behind the curtainer instead of the timekeepers? I can't really tell. I can't tell. And maybe it needs the 2 more episodes to see like if it was worth doing that, but I don't know. It's like, okay, they got to the point, and then Sylvie chops off one head and they're like, they're androids.
Right.
Like, who built them?
I think right. And so that's where I think this takes us, is who built them. Yeah. And notice, when Renslayer got up, she wasn't worried about them being robots or dead. She went straight for Loki. So she knew something. Right. And that's where I became interested again. Like, legitimately, to me, that's where they really like salvaged my interest. It's like episode 1 all over again for me.
You got that Wizard of Oz ending.
In that moment, at least. In that moment.
So do you think that Mobius is just in a purgatory with a whole bunch of other Mobiuses?
I think Mobius is in a purgatory somewhere going through something similar, but I don't think it will be on the same level of Loki, because the only reason I don't think that is we don't know anything about who he is. All we know is he is in TVA agent.
He's assumedly just a normal human, so why would he have the same abilities as Loki to kind of be in that intermediate world? Since Loki's a god.
An agent. But he became an agent at some point, so that's we still don't know how you even become an agent.
Right. I was gonna say probably they might end up being in the same place, because
I told you he might be a Loki.
He could be, because he's like, well, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And he probably not knowing that he was some type of Loki, because his memory probably was
Loki.
Yeah, jet ski Loki or wedding crasher Loki.
Hey, I was just about to say wedding crasher Loki would definitely be on the jet ski.
I'm down.
How you gonna be on the senator's boat and not ride the jet ski?
Fucking Shanghai Noon, fucking Loki.
Oh man.
I Spy movie with fucking Eddie Murphy. But
I think
a
great episode 5. running through Owen Wilson as Loki, but in all of the movies that Owen Wilson's actually been in as Loki, though. That would be hilarious.
We get Jackie Chan in one episode.
Yeah, I honestly like this episode, even with the not knowing of the you know the fake out. I enjoyed this episode a lot more, and we talked about it a little bit before, and it's really because of Owen Wilson and the TVA. Like those are the most interesting things for me right now. Like I'm still trying to struggle to care about what Loki and Sylvie want. Like I don't. At this point, does Loki even need to come back? He kind of had his like arc. Why would he need to come back?
So. This would be this thing where you give it to Lady Loki now.
Right. That's where they should take it, in my opinion. But that's where you get the explanation on, again, how you become an agent and the whole TVA existence. Like, what if there's a decision?
Couldn't they get that with just having Renslayer and Sylvie have a
heart-to-heart?
Yeah.
Apparently, but sorry.
Yeah, well, who knows?
No, yeah, possibly, but I don't know if it will be as interesting. Here's the reality.
It certainly won't, but I mean,
right. And that's the thing is, the reality is, as much as we've all kind of fallen in love with the Sylvie actress and the way she's playing into the female Loki character and giving it all to us, like it's really enjoyable. I would love to see her in a Loki movie. But Tom Hiddleston, like, bro, how do you think we're gonna end this series without getting him back? I don't think the fans that have been around for the time in which he's been Loki, that would be, to me, that's like, oh, Tony Stark died, but there's no possibility that he could come back later. Like, that's impossible.
Well, that's one of the things.
And I mean, as Robert Downey Jr. specifically.
Well, that's one of the things what they're poking at right now, which I think is interesting, and wanting to see how Marvel's going to go. Well, Disney/Marvel is going to go with this, because it's interesting. That's why I was like, I can see Tom Hiddleston's Loki being canned. I wouldn't be surprised. And this whole thing where basically Marvel Studios is basically mimicking something that was like 12, 15 years ago or 10 years ago. Kind of don't remember, but it was this thing called Marvel Now. So basically there was a lot of transitions from who's going to take up the new mantle of certain, status quo superheroes.
Right.
So, this is why we see Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is how we see Sam becomes new Captain America. That's what happened in the comic. Tony Stark, I don't think at some point he did die not too long ago, or he was comatized. Then we get a character called Riri Williams that comes in, I think, and she becomes like the new Iron Man, then later rebranded as Ironheart.
You're right.
Then, this is what it seems like it's going. And it's the same thing with Thor. We might get to see
Natalie
Thor. Yeah, because we had a female Thor. So I was just like, I see where you guys are going with this, but they're keeping certain key players as like.
Well, they have to, or else they won't make their money, dude. Right. You can't just get rid of all of the people that built your audience and then switch them out with other people on and be okay.
And that's and what I understand what you're saying, Dejan, and you're right, because they do have to move along with the phases and get on to the next segment of the books of everything.
Especially as they get older too.
Right.
I mean,
but what
Robert Downey from beginning to end.
Right. What I'm kind of getting at is, as long as these actors are capable, right? I always see the possibility. Right. I always see the possibility of them being able to implement them in some way. And because Disney is all about the money, I could see them making an effort. Say they switch everybody out this year. It's 2021, 2031. Everybody's still alive. Everybody's still active, doing what they're doing, healthy. I can honestly see them doing and I know this isn't the same world or the same universe, but you'll understand what I mean. Teen Titans versus Justice League type of situation with the old and new cast.
I don't think that this phenomenon is going to be around in 10 years.
I don't either.
I think the market is drying up for it as it is. Kids nowadays aren't reading comic books. They don't care about that stuff.
Well, that's the thing. And funny enough, we're speaking about that.
They care about Pokemon, though.
Yes, they do. I care about Pokemon. Detective Pikachu was a great movie.
Still haven't done it.
Good.
They had Jimmy from Year to Worst. So I was surprised.
Yes, they did.
The thing is with that, surprisingly enough, I'm gonna say no and yes. I'm gonna say no and yes for the simple reason, like certain people I know and people like me who are sincerely just like ultra fans of the brand, especially we're finally getting a chance to see these things execute itself out in movies. And the issue with this is there's a lot of people who don't know. And just like they're gonna have this female Thor, they're gonna have all this. They're jumping with the times of like what's controversy and what's not, and that's gonna feed it. And beyond that,
yes, but the numbers for that stuff doesn't do that great, anyways. The Disney Plus's numbers are already plummeting, and so I mean, like I understand what you're getting at. Like they need to modernize so that they can keep their audience relevant. I'm just thinking, like, do we want 10 more years of comic book movies? I don't know.
I don't
really either.
I don't know. I don't.
To tell you the truth, I don't either, because coming from a person, you speak of Pokemon, and I'm like, I still play it very avidly, competitively, in all sorts of ways. But at the same time, I have this conversation with my wife. It's about to be like 9 generations of this shit. I'm getting burnt out.
Yeah.
And it's true. But my thing is, I'm cool with it continuing as long as you can keep making it, how would you say it?
Entertaining, yeah.
Entertaining or innovative or something that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't keep playing Call of Duty for the rest of my life.
But I think the nostalgia tea is drying, honestly. Like, I think it comes from the fact that they're trying to hijack nostalgia and then like rebrand it and package it to an audience that didn't care about it in the first place.
Right. The last Star Wars trilogy.
The last Star, well, absolutely. So it's like, who are you marketing this to? Because the people that made you $1 billion don't want this. You know what I mean? Like, they're over that. So it's
And I think they're betting on children.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the thing. Because the thing is, honestly, I think Marvel not too long ago, like, we want to end our publication for like comics themselves and just really focus on like cartoons,
right,
movies and shit like that. And they could just always revamp it, reboot it. Oh, fuck that. We'll do another Avengers cartoon. Here's a different variation of the video game.
Right, which those actually work. Those work way better than this. And here's the bad thing. And I'm going to say this is a bad thing. You have like Lion King, right? Lion King is a perfect example of this. And how much money did they have to spend to get it done? I mean, for God's sakes, you had Beyonce and Donald Glover as two of the voices. And then Beyonce did the entire soundtrack, which was amazing. But the entire soundtrack, like, you had to put so much money behind it. You made plenty of that money back. I'm sure you trifolded that money.
And they're doing fucking part 2.
And you're gonna do part 2. But what I'm saying is, everybody's gonna see that and then try to mimic that. And how many people are gonna create Disney Lion King 2 times in one lifetime?
But that's what I'm saying, is that Lion King is just the nostalgia teat again. You're just remaking something that we liked as kids. Stop
1,000%.
doing that. And that's what the market keeps doing. It's like, ooh, millennials are such consumers. They love this. They love 90s kids stuff. And I'm like, dude, stop. We're damn near 40 years old. Stop catering to us. Cater to somebody else.
I want to tell them now so that they know my kids will not be as weak-willed as I was at that age. So knock it off.
Fair.
Same here. And it's capitalism at its best. And I think it's funny as hell because we also see it in the video game industry with remakes and reboots. I'm like, I don't need to replay this shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
But I need it on a PlayStation 5 and Series X again.
And again, how that works against the people who play, like, I'm gonna call it what it is, like RPGs, like the real world games where you got to do explorations and stuff. A sports game is the exact same game for like 6 years with a new roster.
Yeah. Yeah. And some new skins, maybe.
Yeah. Get some new tattoos and some new shoes.
I love my customization.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get it. But it's just, there's so many examples to where it works that you have to think, all right, is it them or is it us? Like, what do we not consume to get them to change that?
Sure. I
It's
understand.
them, and the most important thing is, and I tell people this. One big example for me, they're remaking a new Pokemon. Well, they're remaking a Pokemon game, and I looked at it. I'm like, that's bullshit, and you guys are fucking lazy. And the thing is, I tell people, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it unless someone else buys it for me.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, you're going to buy it anyway. I'm like, I'm sincerely not buying it.
Right.
And the whole thing is, how do we stop it? We
stop paying
for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right. You're absolutely.
But people are not going to do that.
Yeah.
People are just going to give in like, oh well.
And even when it's gifted to you, you can't return it. That doesn't count. That still counts as a sell. And then when they sell it as used, that counts as a double sell.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. I think you guys are absolutely on the nose about this, and you know, considering that, I think that at some point we may, in Screen Time's future, have to put an embargo on Disney stuff, just for a little while until they prove that they're worthy of the talk. You know, like I don't know, we'll see.
And I got
a soapbox for that cause. Just let me know.
Right.
And to tell you the truth, I think we already seen it with Fox and Sony. Mm-hmm. Since you know Sony has the rights to the Spider-Man universe, characters for the movie. See how many times they fucking iterated and people kept going to see it. Yeah. Then look what Fox did with fucking the X-Men. We got 2 sets of fucking cast.
Yeah.
Under like 10 years.
It's so confusing.
So now I think,
and then they put the casts together.
So Marvel is just like, we got the rights back. Yeah. We're gonna sit on this shit for like 5-6 years, and
we have free contracts. Free contracts.
Right.
Those contracts are already paid out, and Marvel and Disney, doesn't have to shell out a penny. Free contracts. We'll work you when we need you.
Yeah. And I think all this is to say is that, you know, in my opinion, at least for Loki episode 4, it's like I'm on board with you guys again, but if the next 2 episodes don't do the things that you kind of like are telling us that are about to happen, then I got to take a break from this stuff because I can't.
Right. If the next 2 episodes don't go well, and then they turn around and give us another, say 3 or 4, get us up to 9 or 10 episodes, I might forgive.
No, they'll never do that though.
I know they won't. So they have to give us some. Listen, they have 2 hours left, right? They have a movie. Get it done.
It's like an ultimatum. You have 2 hours, Disney.
There's no ultimatum.
You have 2 hours to impress
2 hours, Disney.
Hey, are we doing Black Widow?
No. No, I don't know. We're
gonna do Eternals and Shang-Chi.
If you guys vote me out, then obviously we will. So but yeah, I mean, we'll have to put it up for a vote at some point.
I mean,
I won't be offended. I'm just saying. I'm not going to voluntarily say, hey, we should do this next Disney franchise thing.
You're not going to say, hey, Scarlett Johansson has a new movie coming out, guys.
Yeah. Ghost of the Shell is free.
Oh my God, please no. But yeah, so look, not to be too critical, because like we've said before, there's a lot of really interesting stuff that's going on in this episode. I don't like the whole fake out concept, but if that's what it was, then fine, whatever. I think that there is more to look into, but then is Ren. So do you guys think that Renslayer is kind of like the top level, and then maybe Kang after her? Or something else after her? I mean, like that, unless she's some sort of like celestial, then maybe she's got everybody under her spell or something like that. That would be interesting.
What I know from the comics, she's just a booty call.
Oh, geez.
Right, from the comics, but she's a booty call for Kang.
Right.
And so you think to yourself, let's go back to WandaVision, right? Mm-hmm. We were waiting for
Doctor Strange?
No, we were waiting for Mephisto.
Or the X-Men.
Right?
Yeah.
Or we got no Mephisto or the X-Men. Excuse me.
Or the Fantastic Four.
We got none of that, right? Yeah. But we definitely got no Mephisto. Mm-hmm. And so in this situation, I'm thinking we could be waiting for Kang the Conqueror and turn around and get something just a little different that we just weren't expecting, because we ended up getting Agatha Harkness.
Mm.
Which nobody really knew about Agatha, but then we were all intrigued by Agatha. So
and I think that's actually a really good point, because if we're looking at this through a normie lens, who's going to give a shit if it's Kang the Conqueror at the top of the thing? That's where I feel like it's weird to Snoke the Timekeepers, because the Timekeepers were sort of like a normie understanding of the big bad guy, but now you're going to like be like, no, but it was this guy the whole time, and people are going to be like, who's that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it that way, because the thing about it, Agatha Hartwood, you don't know nothing about her unless you sincerely knew the history behind Wanda. And thinking about it, I'm like,
but she was in the entire show. This would be somebody new that just pops up out of the darkness.
And this
until we find out it's not, and it's the guy who Loki kept messing with. The little worker dude.
He could have been him.
The Asian comedian. The comedian guy. I don't know his name.
Pillboy from The Good Place.
Yeah. I'm like, I just know he's a comedian and he's always in really funny roles. I don't know his name.
So in that sense, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would expect. I keep saying that because Krang has something to do with the TVA and time. I'm just putting that aspect in there. But then thinking about it, whatever has a circle to do with Asgard or just Loki or Thor, expect something from there. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
because
that is fair.
The Agatha Hartwood shit, I didn't think about it until I was rewatching the cartoon X-Men Evolution. I was like, oh shit, she's in that cartoon. I was like, oh.
I don't remember that, and I love X-Men Evolution. That was my joint. I still watch that today. I'll probably run across that episode this week.
Rewatch the first episode when they introduced Wanda.
Wanda's first episode?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that. I actually don't care that Loki's in purgatory. You know what it would have been better is if that scene was Mobius and not Loki. I mean, at this point, just bring Mobius back, and he can be the one that tries to put the pieces together, because I like him as that sort of time detective dude.
Right.
How
are we gonna figure this out?
Your heart was broken when he went.
Yeah,
jet
man.
Skis.
Yeah, I know. He just said jet skis, and then you liquidated him. Come on, man. He's the best. He's honestly one of the. I think he's the best character of the show. Yeah. Unless I'm thinking of. I mean, Sylvie's good, but Owen Wilson's he's on a different level.
He has more depth than B-15. I like her character a lot, but he has the most depth. He has more depth than both of the Lokis as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We watched the Google,
and mind you, we don't even know his history yet, and he has more depth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to watch the Google. It's the Google movie. That's his history.
Google movie. He made a quantum computer at Google and put himself into space and time.
And think about it. He was selling watches back then in that movie.
There you go. Hey, he was a part of the TVA the entire time.
Look, every Owen Wilson movie, we need to just go do a chronological list.
Yeah, absolutely. Just retcon all of the stories to make him a TVA agent.
Right. See, look, that's better than him being a Loki. Let's do it as him a TVA agent and all his movies.
Bring Vince Vaughn in there too as well.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
In that case, Will Ferrell has to be somewhere in one of them. Yeah. We're just going to push all the Marvel characters out. This is going to become the new Judd Apatow movie.
Right. Okay, so do you guys have anything that you think are going to happen in the next episode? I mean, obviously a lot of kind of cliffhangers were left.
I'm stumped.
Man.
You're stumped.
Well, get it over with. Give me the episode. Let's get it over with.
Right.
Well, so because B-15 remembered, and it didn't show them per se killing her, but her kind of getting beat up a little bit. I would like to see her kind of resurface and get a little more out of her. Renslayer, I'm not really sure what I want to happen there or what I expect to happen there. She needs a beat down for sure. But I mean,
does she?
Sylvie was supposed to get that. I mean, wait. Well, let me explain.
Yeah.
The beatdown that we would think she was supposed to get should have happened in this episode. Sylvie should have given it. That should have just been the whole deal of them fighting and getting down.
Oh yeah. It's BS, by the way. She just saw her kill Loki, and then she's about to kill her, and then Renslayer's like, "Don't," and she's like, "You've convinced
I'm not gonna kill you."
You've convinced me.
I gotta ask you: Have you finished The Boys season 2 yet?
No.
Yeah.
Then I can't say what I want to say.
Oh,
about a beat down. So there you go.
Fair.
Hey man, there's only 3 people I know that need a beat down in the boys. We'll get there.
Well, you're gonna be satisfied, sir. Let's just say that.
I'm satisfied every episode. I don't care,
Oh.
guys. Hey, oh my god. Anyway, Loki. So B-15, I want to see more out of her. I want to see more about the whole Renslayer and Sylvie interviewing her. I like that now we've come full circle and she is Sylvie to everyone, and that's why I'm no longer calling her Randy or Loki. So I would definitely like to see where that goes. Of course, we have to see what's going to happen with Loki in the Loki realm or wherever he's at, and figure out how to get
more Lokis.
Right. Figure out how to get Mobius back. I get that. But I really want to understand more than anything else, what was the Nexus event? And I really think there was no Nexus event. The Nexus event was the discovery of her powers.
It was them about to kiss each other.
No.
They're doing
Nexus
this
event,
with their timelines.
No. Yeah, that Nexus event. we figured that Nexus event has whatever them coming together as a union or whatever. We get that. I mean, the first Nexus event when she was a child, what that made them want to pluck her.
Well, I think it's that Renslayer knew that she would eventually bring down the TVA, so they tried to abduct her. I mean, like, that's all I can assume. We don't. Right. I guess we don't really know 100% yet. But
right, and I feel the same way. I'm going to be a little sad if it's that simple, but I would like to see that, like, through the storyline. I would like them to play that out for us somehow.
Or maybe just kidnapping people just for the hell of it.
Yeah, maybe.
Style.
Yeah.
Even though I sincerely think Rise of Skywalker, what is the reason of fucking kidnapping children? Because they possibly have fucking Force-related abilities.
Wow.
Just not random fucking people. Come on.
Well, then why did they leave that kid in the stables to move the broom with his mind? Come
fucking
on.
Pointless. Let me calm my shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of pointless.
Yes.
Speaking of pointless. So this is what kills me. Let's back up to Lamentis 1. All right. Apocalypse is going down. Not apocalypse. The apocalypse is going down, right? I thought that you could not create a Nexus event
in an apocalypse.
But they're creating a Nexus event.
Right.
And because of that, you're able to find them.
Because we had 2 alternate cousins about the hump.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The timekeepers don't like inbreeding.
Inbreeding is a Nexus event.
It's also the sacred bloodline. They're very concerned about that too.
It was cute, but we know that's not right.
That is hilarious. Yeah, but I mean, clearly, right?
Yeah, but do you even think that Sylvie's into Loki? I don't think so. I have a feeling that
I think they have an inclination to come together, not out of any type of lust or love. I think it is their destiny, and I don't think it's sexual. I really think even if they kiss, it's going to be the simplicity of purity.
No, they're not going to kiss. Are you kidding me?
It's going to be like Age of Ultron.
There's no way.
I hope they don't kiss. I'm saying if they were to, right, it would be like an explosion type of a situation. It would be like a nuclear reaction of some sort, like in the one when somebody dies and then you fuse together with all the abilities and energy like that.
Or it could be like Back to the Future.
Oh no,
don't do that.
I almost said explain. I almost asked you to explain, and I'm so glad
you're gonna be playing Johnny Be Good on a guitar while looking at your brother disappearing.
Ew. Staring your mom down with intent, you weirdo. And you know that's your mom. That's the problem.
Lock lips and tongue. Like, she knew it was wrong.
Come on, Marty. That is
care.
not McFly.
Yeah. Right. Well, and so this is my question to you guys, though, too. I'm assuming at the end of all of this, Loki is going to be dead.
Okay.
I mean, I just think that that's the natural progression of the story, right? You're getting rid of Tom Hiddleston because Sylvie's going to be the new Loki. Why would he be kept around?
Ooh, she might dye her hair black.
There you go. Yeah, like an homage. But do you guys think that he's going to survive in this series? I really don't think so. I don't think there's any room for it.
You know what? You've made a very good point that reminded me of a few things, and now I can't say for sure, but I am very curious as to what that end scene was about. So
Mhm.
Also, the timekeepers. So were they real? Were they fake? Do they have any power? Because something else I noticed, them turning out to be androids, they never did anything as far as power was concerned to affect Sylvie or anybody. It was just
No, they were just
Renslayer with the remote.
They were Chuck E. Cheese puppets.
Right.
Like,
Right. So it's
that's
like
all they were.
Right. And so you just had Renslayer with the remote rewinding Sylvie every time she took a step forward. But then when B-15 comes in, she disrupts all of that. So all of this is just technology. Like, so we're
but and then
we're
why
Iron Man's basement or what?
Yeah, why did we need the or the timekeepers in the first place? Like, who's there to care that the timekeepers are protecting a sacred timeline? If this is all just Kang the Conqueror being like, this is my little mafia, bureaucracy that helps me jump from different realities to destroy them, like, why would they have to be told that timekeepers exist and that they're keeping a sacred timeline? Like, I don't know. I'm not really sure why.
Hopefully they explain all that shit. Hopefully they'll explain it in a decent way.
Yeah, of course. There's still lots of questions. Yeah.
Or we might get the whole DCW effect. It's bullshit writing altogether.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was my worry about the whole Sylvie thing where Renslayer's like, oh, I forgot what we even brought you in for. Yeah, I'm like, are they about to Ray Skywalker her? Be like, your parents were nobodies? Like... But,
Palpatine, there were nobodies.
Like, dude, I'm having flashbacks to the bad storytelling in the last trilogy, man, because I'm Palpatine don't set it up like that.
Palpatine was like, fuck my kids. They're not enchanted with the Force. Fuck
the Force.
I've always had questions about that, too. Does that mean that Palpatine created Anakin as well out of the Force?
There's theories about it.
Yeah. Which would mean that then there's some weird incest going on too with Ben Solo and
I told you, man, that scene bugged me. I'm like, you guys are
related somehow. I don't know how it is, but you guys are definitely related.
Somehow, some way. Third cousins, 2 extra moves.
Yeah.
And Finn is over there like, man, fuck, I'm in friend zone.
Finn is over there like, man, I wish that I wish that they didn't belittle my part into a sidekick character when I could have been a freaking Jedi. I mean, geez, Louise. Why didn't they make him a Jedi? He could have been amazing as a Jedi.
They would have been like, well, we don't need another Mace Windu. We'll leave that.
Oh, geez.
Wow. Yeah, hey.
No.
Samuel Jackson came across there.
He's like, not today, no.
Highlander.
You think Sam shut it down?
I'm the only one.
You think Sam shut it down when Billy D let him come on in that door? Come on now.
Billy D's not a Jedi, so he's not threatened.
Jedi. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Right.
This is Billy D.
Only one black Jedi at every party. Dang
it.
You know what? And to watching and reading Star Wars canon, I mean, well, except in one game, but who the fuck are the rest of the black Jedis?
That's a good question.
Where are the Latino and Asian Jedis?
It's a whole entire galaxy. Why wouldn't there be? Why they have alien Jedis? Why can't you have? Why can't you have Jedis?
And all the humans all speaking British or English.
True. Maybe it's like in a weird alternative reality where the English Empire controls everything.
Fuck it, we're going to space.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe they need to question George Lucas like they do Tarantino.
Oh yeah. Did you watch that? Did you watch that Rogan interview?
Oh, not yet, but I heard.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's pretty interesting. Interview?
Yeah, he talked to Tarantino for like 3 hours. It's pretty good. I mean, interesting if you like the movies and want to hear more about them.
I'll check that out.
Yeah. They also apparently are capping it into a play of some sorts.
Oh yeah, he said he wants to start doing plays after. Actually, right
now. Apparently about his life, like about the path of his movies. Yeah,
I can imagine. All right,
man, I got started in a fucking video store.
Yeah, that's true. He did. All right, we got him way off track here. So let's try to. Do you guys have anything else you want to remark about? Did we miss anything?
Never talk about
reel it back in, Keelan. Reel it back in.
Got a big one here, guys.
Yeah.
Fight scene was terrible. That could have did without that.
That was bad.
Was there even a fight scene?
Yeah.
You're right.
That's how
Tom
bad.
You're right.
Hiddleston looked like a-
The pairing scene could have been. I could have done without.
Oh yeah, that's right. Where Sylvie destroys 2 guards before Tom Hiddleston can even like get one of them under control.
Dude, if
Yes.
you watch Tom Hiddleston, he looks like a fucking putty from Power Rangers in the
so
background.
He totally did. You're right. Oh my god, that's so hilarious. Oh, poor guy. He was never supposed to be an action star, so I get it. Like, you know, he probably does.
He definitely does serious roles aside from Loki.
Right, exactly.
Really good serious roles too.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I don't think he's an action.
Can you imagine if he was the next 007, like people want it next to
no. He's getting no. Please put Alva in. Jesus. At least Alva can choreograph fights, man. Good lord.
If Tom Hiddleston got the job and Idris Elba couldn't, man.
Nah, that's it. That's game over on
crazy.
Okay, well now we're
definitely off track.
Now we're off track again.
Back to Tom Hiddleston and what we're currently on. So my main thing was Renslayer pruning him. Why? And then with Sylvie not pruning her. That's why I'm stuck at. I want to know how this all started. That's why I really have to know, because you didn't kill her because you don't even know. So Sylvie has to find out why her life had to take this route. Like, why did you guys make me go this way? Like, you guys started the way this way, you know? And who are you guys to begin with?
I guess, which kind of makes sense, but also then she could have just killed Renslayer and then went to her office. And
kill her, take her time pad, go through her stuff, and
I mean, and didn't she have a temp pad before? Like, couldn't she have gone and looked into it?
She stole Renslayer's hunter temp pad when she was a kid.
Right. So she could have looked into, as you know.
You're right, but she was too young. She didn't know how.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. Because she did say it took her a minute to find the apocalypses to hide it, to realize that was the hiding spot.
Right. True.
Also, that has to be crazy. How many freaking apocalypse? Like,
well, she said that is a cool line. She lived in 1,000 end of the worlds or world ends or whatever. Pretty interesting line. You know, I think the writing was better in this episode for sure.
Yeah,
the dialogue was better again because Owen Wilson was in it. But
they consulted us, man.
Yeah. I mean, they listened. That's for sure. They did. They definitely delivered. I'm nervous about how many story cliffhangers that they just kind of left open because, I mean, to stick all of those landings, that's going to be a tough one. So we'll see if they do it. But I'm not going to hold my breath.
Right? It's Disney. Who knows? They know how to run the Olympics.
Oh, I mean, you know, look, they're going to make billions of dollars for the rest of time, so it'll be fine, I'm sure.
Definitely. Yeah, there's somebody definitely who probably watches our show in season and go, these guys are just Disney haters. Like, no,
all the time. We're just haters, period, actually. So no. No, I mean, you know, you can't be a fanboy about everything. And I think, you know, sometimes you got to say, hey, look, you know, I understand what you're trying to do, but just make the story good. And you know, that's where we were at last episode, where it's like, look, I don't care what you're trying to do with this, that, or the other, just make the story interesting. And I think that they finally kind of got the story to be a little bit interesting in this episode. So, you know, we'll see how it goes.
I agree. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'll be tuned in next Wednesday still, you know.
I mean, we don't have a choice. So, and that's what I'm a little bit resentful about too, because like I can't write this. I can't write this series off yet because I still have 2 more episodes to watch it. And
like, after this shit, we ain't starting that one.
Fair enough.
I mean, you know, it's just one of those things because like I could say like right now, you know, had I had not known about the fake out, I would have probably been like, all right, I'm not interested anymore. You know, just because, you know, I just meh. Yeah. Maybe
we might just go to what we were talking about last time instead of just reviewing all the episodes to say when shit ends.
Fair.
We'll be witches.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's been fun to do things on the day of. Like it's fortuitous that it came out on Wednesday. So like it made sense for us to just do them on Wednesday nights. And I still enjoy it. Yeah, they listen to us. One of the 4 people watching right now. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. One of them is a Disney exec. So
yeah, we appreciate him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I think the
Yeah.
important thing is, and I think anyone who takes the time to even view our shows would know, like, we still enjoy the shows. We are just, we are critical from a position of entertainment. We like what we're watching, and we're going to be critical about what we see.
Oh yeah, and there's yeah. I mean, I don't think we have to say this for every episode, but please don't take our word for it when we're just talking to S. We're just we're venting our frustrations. We're trying to work through storylines and stuff like that. And so just because we may not care for one thing or another does not mean that that's the way it is.
We're like children. You guys can be the parents, and you can choose either one of us as your favorite.
Yeah, there you go. Or
Santa
none of us at all.
Right. I met Santa, and he said we weren't on the naughty list, we're still on the good list, on the nice list.
You don't want to meet that Santa, so
I don't either.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, I wish there was another season of Love, Death, Robots. Okay, do you guys have anything else you wanted to add before we wrap this one up?
No. For whatever reason, though, at the end of this episode, I was definitely feeling fantastically well, and that's where I'm still at.
Yeah, much better than the first or the third episode. So we'll see where it takes us in the next 2 episodes. That's where I'm at right now too. Dijon?
Black Widow next week.
No, I don't want to. I don't want it.
Oh wait. Oh.
It's one of your guys' choices, so I don't have a choice. Like if you guys choose, I just have to. So,
Tina's your choice.
Yeah, we'll see.
But no, this episode was much better in my opinion. Yeah. I enjoyed some Owen Wilson, and I also almost cried like a little bitch. Like wow. Yeah, I admit it.
I'm not crying.
He was so close to his jet skis. Yeah.
Wheel.
Yeah.
That was his memory. He was a jet ski salesman.
Probably. Yeah. At like Boca Raton, Florida or something like that.
Right. The one that he's so known to.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Well, awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys, for listening. We really hope that you enjoyed this episode. We definitely enjoyed talking about the episode. And please stay tuned for next Wednesday when we cover episode 5 of Loki. We got another show on Sunday night. That will be the Nicholas Winding Refn film Drive, starring
sexy ass.
Oh, Gosling. Yeah, Ryan Gosling. There you go. We'll be reviewing that for you guys Sunday night at 8 p.m. If you want to check out what Keelan does with his podcast, If Numbers Could Talk, it's on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Please go check him out. We're expanding all of our platforms right now, so I should have a list of all of the platforms that we're going to be on. But he's definitely got a YouTube page and a Facebook page. I believe he's on Spotify now. And he's got an Anchor as well. So if you go to the Anchor for If Numbers Could Talk, it should see where you can see all of his stuff.
That's right.
So please make sure you check him out, follow him, give him a thumbs up. And then we got Dijon the Mustard is doing his live stream on Twitch Tuesday and Thursdays at 10 p.m. Right now, he is playing Conquers Live and Reloaded. And if you cannot catch the live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays, he's uploading them to YouTube, Strawberries and Coffee on YouTube and Twitch, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 p.m. And then the next day on YouTube if you can't make it. But please go check him out. Make sure that you give him a follow. I got a podcast too. It's called Exofathom, Monday and Friday night at 8 p.m. Please check us out. I got an Odyssey page now. I'm starting to upload on Odyssey. I'm starting to upload on something called Verbal. And I should have a list of all of the places that we're going to be at. But we got a Facebook page and a YouTube page as well, Exofathom. But if you're a purist at heart and just want to hear us blabber on about movies and TV and critique things for which we have no credentials, thank you so much for taking this trip with us through the Screen Time Continuum. For Screen Time Continuum, I am Nick.
I am Keelan.
I'm the Mustard.
Good night, everyone.